Peace, me. Once again, I'm back in effect. This is the one and only Mac Phantom Guy coming at you live out of the 206. And, they thought I was dead. They thought I was dead. I'm YouTube's most wanted. I'm out here. You know, I've been trying to remain silent and I've been trying to be nice and try to be respectful to the American society and be respectful to let the news and let other YouTubers speak and take action in regards to what has taken place in regarding my brother George Floyd out there in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A state that is highly diverse, but is highly populated with white Americans, which that's not the problem. Once again, this is the Mac Phantom Guy coming at you live out of the 206. I'm back in effect. Black Power every second, every minute of the hour. You already know it's going to always consistently remain Black Power every second, every minute of the hour. And I'm coming with a rough story. I wanted to bring the news then, but I saw that a lot of media coverage was already taking place, so I kind of left it alone. But at this time, it's to the point right now where I can't hold it back no more. I got to speak my mind, baby. I got to speak my mind. This is like my fourth channel. Every time I come out with a channel, it gets banned, it gets pulled down because they say some type of YouTube violation. So I'm going to try my hardest to my tongue in a professional manner so I don't get my channel pulled, because it always get pulled. I say I got somebody in the building. So I'm gonna just give you guys a spill. There's another black murder here in America by the one and only Ku Klux Klan affiliated police officers. Not all officers are evil, but majority of them are Ku Klux Klan affiliates. Okay, people must understand that the very first formation of police in the United States of America were slave patrol. So when police officers take that oath, they're taking an oath under the banner of slave patrol. They just switched the name and changed the name up. The Ku Klux Klan affiliate by the name of Derek Chauvin murdered the young brother George Floyd. Okay, now there was a police officers received a call of a black man who the store owners assumed was writing bad checks when he wasn't writing any bad checks at all. Okay, the police officers arrived on the scene, approached a young black man who was not armed and who was also not resisting arrest. They approached him, they attacked him. They began to foam off at the mouth when they realized they had a black man who was unarmed. And one thing about America during this corona pandemic, a lot of African American people have not been going to jail. They have not been able to fulfill the roster count in these county jails because there's no crimes being committed, because black men and black women and those minorities have been staying inside and staying far away from law enforcement. They're not committing any crime, so that upsets the police department. That upsets the Ku Klux Klan in uniform. The Ku Klux Klan in uniform is what I call them. Okay, the Ku Klux Klan in uniform, Derek, when he approached the scene, he had 3 other police officers with him, 2 other Ku Klux Klan affiliates who were holding George Floyd down as they slammed him to the ground for no apparent reason at all. He was not resisting arrest. He wasn't breaking any laws. He wasn't condoning any criminal activity whatsoever. But that doesn't matter. Black people, you must understand here in America that you do not have to be committing a crime to be murdered by the racist Ku Klux Klan affiliated cops in uniform. I'm going to state that again. You do not, if you are a black descent, African descent here in this country called America, you do not have to be breaking any laws, committing any crimes to be treated like a fucking slave. They grab you, they harass you, they slam you on your neck, and they put their boot in your neck. They shoot you down like dogs throughout the year from January to December, 365 days out of the year, from sunup to sundown, man, woman, child, baby. They will enter your home at will, and they will murder you by any means necessary. You African Americans are currently, you currently have to realize that you are in your enemy's backyard. African Americans in this country must realize that you are behind enemy lines. African Americans in this country, you must understand and realize that white America and the governors and the society that you live in dislike you every day, and they disagree with the fact that you are a free man, a free woman, a free teenager, a free child, and a free baby in a country that they feel that you are only here to be a slave. They don't want you to be a free man. They don't want you to be a free woman. They don't want you to have any democratic rights in this country. They don't want you to have any human rights in this country. This country was created and designed by white migrants from Europe who came here, who robbed, stole, and murdered the Native Americans, killed those Native Americans off, took the land, colonized the land, kidnapped you from Africa, sold you as property here in America, and they looked at you as a slave. You're not even considered a human being to them. When police officers, not all police officers, but majority of police officers see African Americans in this country, they do not see a human being. They do not see you as a person. They see you as a dog. They see you as a monkey. They see you as someone who don't deserve to live. They see you as someone who they demise, who they despise, and who they want to be deceased by any means necessary. African Americans here in America, you must realize that you are currently at war. Okay? You are currently at war. Women, you are currently at war. Black men, black teenagers, you are currently at war. Okay? You must understand that. I don't give a fuck what LeBron James say. I don't give a fuck what Barack Obama's presidential reign made you feel. But you must understand, African Americans in this country, you are at war. You are unwanted in this country. They do not love us. They have no respect for you. They have no respect for your mothers, your grandfather, your grandmothers, your fathers, your children, or your babies. You are behind enemy lines, and these white, evil, Ku Klux Klan affiliated officers who work for the government will do everything they can by any means necessary to exterminate you. Okay? So you must understand that. Now, what occurred is that these four officers appeared on the scene. George Floyd was pinned to the ground by three different police officers. One of the police officers put their knee in his neck with all his weight. Now, this evil maggot, Derek is an evil Ku Klux Klan affiliate who happened to get a job in law enforcement. He'd been waiting for the chance to kill a black man, and he finally got one. Okay? He finally got a chance to kill a black man, and his name happened to be George Floyd. George Floyd was telling him, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. You're putting too much weight in my neck. I need water. You're trying to kill me. And then this evil Ku Klux Klan affiliated by the name of Derek Chauvin, he knew he was killing George. He loved the fact that he was killing George, and he enjoyed the fact that he was killing George. He put his knee in his neck with all his weight for over 7 minutes. And even when the brother seemed to be passed out and when the brother seemed to be lifeless, he had a grin on his face. He smiled for the camera because he knew that he was discontinuing the life of a black man, another black man down, another black man gone here in this evil country called America. Now, people must understand that not all white people are bad. Not all white people are Ku Klux Klan affiliates. You have white people in America who have black friends and who have friends of minority groups. None of that matters right now. None of that matters right now. Okay? Because I could be dead tomorrow. Your son can be dead tomorrow. Your wife can be dead tomorrow when they have interactions, when they encounter law enforcement or police officers for any reason, a domestic violence call, a suspicious person in the neighborhood, a person that was accused or they assumed that you were a shoplifter. It is during this pandemic of COVID-19 where these police officers understand and they know that the quota is down, okay? Their quota is down. They're not making that many arrests. They're not, and it's bothering them. It's frustrating them because they're not getting the quota and the numbers that they need to fill up the cells. So they feel like, okay, if the corona pandemic is not killing African Americans off at a fast rate like we expected it to, we're going to do the job ourselves. You are behind enemy lines, African Americans. When are you going to wake up and realize that this country has no love for you? There's never any black agenda from the Republican side or the Democratic side. You must understand you are behind enemy lines and they are foaming off at the mouth at any chance they can get to exterminate you by any means necessary. Now, when this video went viral, the police officers who were involved in this murder were fired. You had one officer who looked to be of Asian descent. He was also fired. Why? Because he was riding with the police officers, the Ku Klux Klan affiliated officers, and he did not do anything to stop it. He did not show any signs of wanting to stop the murder that was at hand. None of these officers have been charged with murder, by the way. You have a cold-blooded murder caught on camera for the world to see. And still to this day, there has not been any charges of murder cast upon these evil demons. Okay? Now, this action, when this occurred, it resulted in a lot of protesters that hit the street, like they always do. Like they always do. Everybody know how black people get down. Everybody know how black people get down whenever there's something that happens here in America. Whenever one of our black sisters are harassed, you go protest and you go take the streets. Whenever a black sister is murdered by the evil Ku Klux Klan affiliated officers, they with a badge, whenever they decide to kill one of our mothers or kill one of our sisters, African Americans, they go take the streets. They go take the streets. Whenever a black man is harassed by police officers, they protest, they take the streets. Whenever, God damn it, hold on. Damn flag, hold on. All right, I'm back. I might just stand up. That's even better. Shit, whatever's coming. But yeah, like I said, they take the streets, fam. Whenever a man is murdered by the white demonic caucasoid in society, they go take the streets. They go take the streets. And in results of what? What is that gonna solve? What is that gonna solve? See, what oh yeah, but one thing about these protesters in Minneapolis, one thing they did do was different. One thing they did do that was different. They didn't just protest. They went to the police department. They went to the police station at the precinct where Derek clocks in and clocks out for his daily duties. They arrived on the scene. They did some vandalism. Police officers, 12 officers had to come out and protect the property and things of that nature. The protesters also took it a step further and they decided to go to the Ku Klux Klan evil, demonic, possessed Derek's house. They went to his house, and when they went there, he wasn't home, of course, because he was told, okay, you might want to flee because these protesters are just coming, man. You might want to flee the scene and get away. His Ku Klux Klan affiliated buddies, they gonna look out for him. They gonna look out for him. They gonna make sure that they let him know what's going on, keep him informed, and he hurry up and he fled the city. No one knows where he is now. But the protesters went to his house. They vandalized the parking lot. They wrote "murderer" on the ground. They knocked on the door to see what was up, who was home, and no one happened to be there. And of course, him being a protected Ku Klux Klan affiliate, he happened to live in a suburban neighborhood, which doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, with all that being said, I want African American people to understand you can burn as many buildings as you want. That's nothing new. You can burn as many buildings as you want. That doesn't scare anyone. That doesn't scare anyone. You can burn as many buildings as you want. You can protest as much as you want. That doesn't scare anybody, fam. You're not scaring nobody. Okay? They know you can go and go burn down as many buildings as you want. You can protest, you can scream Black Power, Black Lives Matter. You can do all the shit that you want and take the streets. All they're gonna do is call the police department to hit the streets. They're gonna come and SWAT equipment with their SWAT equipment and their shields and their uniforms and their bulletproof vests and their smoke grenades and their bombs and their tear gas. They're gonna come through and they're gonna throw those bombs at you to disperse the crowd. You understand me? Because they're afraid of you. But that just because they're afraid of you, they're only afraid of the fact that you can cause economical damage to the property. But that don't scare the Ku Klux Klan. That doesn't scare Derek. Derek Chauvin is in love with the fact that he just took the life of another black man here in America. He loves that. His white Ku Klux Klan affiliate buddies love that. And they know you're not going to do nothing about it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're not going to do nothing about it. They're not worried about you. They're not worried about you, fam. You're not going to do nothing to him. You ain't going to do nothing to Derek. He smiled on camera as he took George Floyd's life. What are you going to do? He smiled with no fear. He enjoyed the moment of killing George because he knew you're not going to do anything about it. I'll do it again tomorrow. I'll do it again next week. And you're not going to do nothing about it, black man. You don't scare no one. See, this is the thing. If that would have been Tay-Tay with his knee in George's back, if that had been Tay-Tay and Pookie and Ray Ray holding George Floyd down with all their weight and all their might with their knee in his neck to kill and exterminate him, I guarantee you it would take no more than 48 hours for retaliation to take place in the neighborhood of Pookie, Tay-Tay, and Ray Ray, and they would have all been dead within 48 to 72 hours. Black on black crime there's more black people dying in America than there is at the hands of a black man than there is from the Ku Klux Klan. The KKK sits back and they relax and they laugh at the fact that they don't have to kill as many of you off as they used to anymore because you do the job for them due to gang affiliation. And guess what? They know that, so they're not worried about you. They're not worried about your retaliations. You went to George. You went to old boy's house, to Derek's house for what? To go knock on the door? What you doing? You selling Girl Scout cookies? You're not scaring nobody. You don't pump no fear in these white supremacists' heart. You don't pump no fear in any white supremacist soul. In the Ku Klux Klan, they know that they're winning the battle against the African American race here in America, and they feel as if right now, if they wanted to, right now, they could do it again tomorrow, and they could do it again next week, next month, and they can do it all year. And all you gonna do, black man and woman, is go put on your sneakers, put on you some Jordans, put on your little lace front, and go run out to the street and go protest, screaming, "Hands up, don't shoot! Hands up, don't shoot!" That's all you're gonna do. That's not gonna scare nobody. You're in the middle of a war right now. And you should be packing a burner, taking the streets, ready to go an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, because so many African Americans in this country has died and has been murdered unlawfully by people who supposed to be upholding the law. And they know they're going to be protected by the prosecutor's going to protect the police officers. They're going to get a lawyer that's going to protect the police officers, and that all-white jury is going to acquit the police officer for the crimes and the murder and the unlawful acts that they have cast upon your people. And all you going to do is go outside and you're going to go march and you're going to say, "Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot." And you think that's going to scare somebody? No, if anything, that's going to encourage them. They're going to laugh in your face. They're going to smile, and they're going to have enjoyment of that. And they're going to sit back, relax, pop some popcorn, kick their feet up, and record and rewind the footage of George screaming, "I can't breathe." Laugh, eat more popcorn, and watch him say, "I can't breathe," and then watch him pass out and become unconscious, smile and laugh some more, eat some more popcorn. and then rewind it and do it all over again. While you out there in the streets, you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna bust a grape. African Americans, you ain't gonna bust a grape. All you gonna do is sit there and you gonna swear up and down, oh, we gonna get justice. Oh, we gonna get justice. Oh, we gonna let the justice system handle it. And you saw George's white girl. You saw his little white girl that he had, his fiance, his girlfriend, whatever you want to call her. He dating outside his race, which some people like to do, some people condone it, some don't. To each his own. But you saw what she did. She's not gonna crack code for you. She's not gonna break her. She's not gonna crack the code. She's not gonna go against her code for her white power affiliates and her family. And she's not gonna take. She's not gonna take George's side. She's gonna act like she loved him and all this and that because he was giving her that good black dick. That's all she cared about. She don't give a fuck about George now that he's dead. And when you have black protesters who are angry and they feel the same way I do, they want to prove the world wrong that this is the final straw and we're done. This is the deadline and we're ready to take action and go find this evil caucasoid, evil Ku Klux Klan affiliate Derek Chauvin and go let him have it like they supposed to. You have this woman, his little Becky that he was in love with, coming out saying, oh, George wouldn't want you guys to do that. George didn't want that. George would like for you guys to forgive the cops who killed him. And no, the fuck George don't. I'm not hearing that. No, the fuck George don't. George is not going to sit here knowing that he's dead and gone and was murdered. He's not going to sit here and accept the fate that he was murdered by some Ku Klux Klan affiliates in cop uniform with a badge on who enjoyed murdering this man. They enjoyed murdering this man. And you think that he's going to sit here and say, I forgive you. Oh, don't cause no harm, people. Don't get no revenge in my name. I strongly disagree with that. But you must understand, America, that a lot of African Americans are Christians. They believe in the spirituality of Christianity. And where do they get the ideal of Christianity? During slavery. Who taught them how to be Christians? The evil white Ku Klux Klan affiliate slave master. Who taught them how to be forgiving? The evil white slave master. Who taught them that to believe in a God that doesn't exist and don't give a fuck about you even if he did? Jesus, so-called Jesus Christ. Who told you to believe in that God? Who forced you to believe in that God? And who killed you if you did not believe in that God and worship that God? The evil white man here in America did. From the white man back in the day, I should say. I'm not going to say all white men are evil. This is not a video to say to the world that all white men are evil, caucasoid, demonic devils. I'm not saying that. I know YouTube's going to try to paint some type of picture that I'm trying to be hateful and say hate speech. This is not a hate speech video. This is a realistic video. In America, there is a strong virus called racism, and it has existed in this country for millennia, for centuries, for decades, and it's stronger than the COVID-19 virus. I tell you that. But back to what I was saying, I don't want to get off track. If George Floyd believed in the religion that was forced upon his foremother and forefathers by the evil slave master European who forced the European Jesus down their throat against their will, if he believes in that God, then there's a high chance that he will say, oh, forgive him and forgive the cops who killed me and so on and so forth. But when you're murdered and your life is taken away from you, there's no forgiveness. All there is revenge. And you have to understand that there's a lot of protesters in the street in 2020 right now who's ready to ride and go put in the work for George Floyd. You got to understand that. But black people, I want you to understand that you walking out in the street, burning buildings is nothing new. Okay? That doesn't scare the white supremacists. That doesn't scare the Ku Klux Klan. If you want to really make a statement, you would treat those the same way that they treat you. And I don't have to go too in depth with that, because if I go in too much detail, YouTube, hating ass YouTube, will destroy my channel like they've done in the past. If I go into more detail when I say You must treat those who treat you. You must treat the way they treat you. You treat them the same way they treat you. I'll let you under. I'll let you. You're not dumb. I'm trying. I can try to explain it as dumb as I can and talk to you like a kindergartner. But I'm pretty sure you're well aware of where I'm going with that. I'll let your imagination carry on. If you don't understand what I mean by that, then that's your problem. But for those who understand what I'm saying, you must know that when there's war, you don't protest during war. When you're in the middle of a war and you want to make a statement, you don't say, hands up, don't shoot. You don't just march down the street with no consequences and repercussions brought upon your enemy. You don't do that. We've African Americans in this country, we've been doing it for too long and it hasn't gotten us nowhere and it won't get you nowhere. You must understand that you are behind enemy lines. You are in the middle of a war. These Ku Klux Klan affiliates have infiltrated the police department because not all cops are bad cops. You must understand that. Not all police officers are bad and evil people. But the Ku Klux Klan affiliates, the evil, demonic, devil worshipping Ku Klux Klan who used to hang black men, who raped black women and cut off the phallus of black men for hundreds of years, are infiltrating the police departments. They have on the badge in uniform. They have their gun, they have their baton, they have their tear gas, they have their taser, and they feel that they have all the right to destroy, to infiltrate the community and kill black men, black women, black teens, black babies at any cost, at any time, by any means necessary. It's a green light. They're on go. If they feel like they want to kill a black man, they will kill you with no remorse, and there will be no consequences because the prosecuting and the Justice Department is also infiltrated by the Ku Klux Klan terrorists. The prosecutors are the Ku Klux Klan terrorists. Your defenders are the Ku Klux Klan terrorists. And your all-white jury is the Ku Klux Klan affiliated terrorists. They've infiltrated all the departments at all fronts. So you are behind enemy lines every time you step outside your house. You are behind enemy lines. You get pulled over for a traffic stop. If it's a Ku Klux Klan affiliate who has infiltrated the police department, he will take your life. That has been proven. If you, black man, black women, is caught walking down the street in the neighborhood that is occupied by people who do not look like you, and they decide to call 911 on you and lie to the operator and swear up and down that their life is in jeopardy, you threaten their life and they're in danger, the Ku Klux Klan affiliated terrorists who have infiltrated the police department will arrive on scene with their guns drawn, ready to blow your head off quick, fast, in a hurry, and that'll be another black man gone, another black woman gone, another black teen gone, or a black baby gone. Rest in peace, Ariana Jones, sleeping in her house watching SpongeBob. The police officers break into the grandmother's house and they shoot up the place and then they kill the baby and Ariana Jones, who was only sleeping on her couch, just laying down, chilling on her couch, sleep. And she died in her sleep because a police officer broke into the house and murdered that baby. A white Ku Klux Klan affiliate broke into that house and murdered that baby. And guess what? He got acquitted. He got acquitted. Just because the police officers were fired does not present justice. You must understand that. Just because you got fired from your job and they said turn in your badge, you're not a police officer no more in this county at least. But you can go to another county in another state, in another region, and go apply for it to become a police officer there, and you'll get rehired. You'll get rehired. We've seen it happen so many times. We've seen it happen so many times, black men, black women, black children, black gods. So you must understand that you are currently at war right now. Rest in peace. No, I should say rest in power to George Floyd. And one thing that upset me about that video most, outside of the fact that the evil, demonic, caucasoid Ku Klux Klan terrorists who had infiltrated the police department smiled and he grinned as he put all his weight in George's neck. The only thing that upset me the most was the fact that the African Americans who were surrounding that area, who outnumbered the police officers, who outnumbered the Ku Klux Klan, all they did was sit around and stick around and pull out their phones and record the murder that occurred. You didn't help your brother out. You didn't step in the middle. You didn't cause no type of diversion. You didn't try to help him out. You sat there just like how slaves sit on the plantation and watch one of their beloved brothers or beloved sisters get whipped by that evil caucasoid demonic demon. They sit there and they watch them get whipped until they become unconscious, or get whipped, get the flesh on their back ripped off by the whip until they fall unconscious, or if not, die. Or here's another one: the African American kidnapped victims from that were slaves who were on those who were occupying the plantations, outnumbering the evil caucasoid terrorists. They would sit there and watch their mothers get lynched. They will sit there and they will watch their brothers get hung. They would sit there and watch their brothers and their uncles get molested and get their rectums sodomized by the Europeans. They would sit there and they would watch their babies be molested. They would sit there and they would watch that, and they would not retaliate or do anything about it to protect their babies. Some Africans did uprise on some plantations, but not all, and I'll say majority of them did not. They sat there and they watched it. That happened in the 1600s, in the 1700s, in the 1800s. The mentality of an African in America, when they see their brothers and their sisters and their babies and their mothers being brutally tortured and mishandled and mistreated by the evil terrorists, demonic caucasoid demons in this country, all they do is sit there and watch. And then you got brothers in 2020 who watch movies like Roots and watch movies like Django Unchained and all this other shit, Amistad, and all these old movies. And they watch these movies that are based off of real life events that occurred back in the day. They watch these movies, right? And then they have the nerve to say, "Oh, that couldn't be me. That couldn't be me. Oh, I couldn't just sit back and watch that happen. Oh, that couldn't be me. I would have done something. That couldn't be me. I would have killed that white man. I would have got that white man off my baby. That couldn't have been me. I would have got that white man off my mama. He wouldn't have raped my mama in front of me. He wouldn't have raped my baby in front of me. He wouldn't have hung my daddy in front of me. He wouldn't have whipped my son on his back in front of me. He wouldn't have raped my little sister in front of me. All that dumbass talk, all that talking that y'all doing, use a fake, use a fraud, and use a phony. And I believe that you wouldn't do nothing because you're a coward and you're scared. The same way you prove to the world every time and every day when you see certain situations like this occur, you get all cowered up, you get all shook, you get all scared, and all you can do is sit there and watch it and not do nothing about it. Like I said, in 2020, them same brothers and them same sisters who's sitting there running their mouth saying that is the same brothers and sisters who sit back and pull out their phone and don't provide any assistance when they see them evil terrorists, caucasoid, demonic, evil demons who have infiltrated the police department jumping on your sister. The same black man who swear he's so hard and swear he's such a gangster that say he would not dare sit back and watch that back in the day when those actions occurred against their little sisters and their mothers. The same one that say, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't just sit there and watch that shit happen. The same person that say that is the same person in 2020 who sat there and watched George Floyd get murdered by the Ku Klux Klan infiltrators of the police department. The same gangster who swore he's so hard, who watched Roots and said, oh, that couldn't have been me. That couldn't have been me, blood. That couldn't have been me, cuz I would have uprolled and I would have did this and I would have did that. You wouldn't have done shit. You guys are scared. You guys are cowards. You guys don't pump no fear in any white supremacist heart whatsoever, because you have proven from slavery time till now these same evil caucasoid demonic demons from the sons of the great great grandfathers of the slaveholders and the evil white men then are the same white men now who happen to be police officers who live and their everyday occupation is to be police officers and to patrol the cities, and they see you as the enemy. They see you as a slave. They never change their ideology of who you are to them. You're not even a man to them. You're not even a human being to them. You were considered property to them back in the day. You're 3/5 of a man. And then today, all that woofing and rah, 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 I'm so hard, I'm a gangster, I'm from this block, I'm from that block, I'm a P-Stone, I'm a Vice Lord, I'm GDN, folks, I'm a Crip, I'm a Blood, I'm Pyru, all this shit that you guys swear up and down that you are, and you so hard, you prove how hard you is, you prove you's a killer, you prove you's a thug-ass killer, you's a gangster, you's a rider. When it comes to another black man putting his knee in your brother, you be quick to ride when it's another black man stumping your sister out or stumping your baby out or stumping out your cousin or your brother, putting their knee in their back, putting their knee in their neck. You's a rider, you's a killer. You ready to go do a drive-by in a heartbeat when another black man kill another black man. But when it comes to these white, evil, demonic, caucasoid terrorists who have infiltrated the police department, when it comes down to them, all you can do is sit back and watch, just like you did back in the 1800s during slavery. You sit back and watch, just like you did in the 700s. These white, evil, demonic, caucasoid, Ku Klux Klan affiliates who have infiltrated the police department, they might as well go all out and do exactly what they used to do back on the plantation. They might as well just sit down, rip your pants off, spread your legs, spread your cheeks, and rape your 15-year-old, 16-year-old daughter right in front of you. And guess what? I bet you my bottom dollar, all you gonna do, black man, is sit back and watch. And I can't say the same for the sisters. Our African American sisters will ride against the police before you would, black man. I've seen video footage of our young teenage sisters and our grown sisters. They had the courage and the heart to step in the middle and said, fuck this, enough is enough. And they jumped in the middle and put their heart and their soul on the line in the midst of the battle. And they attacked that police officer. They had jumped in the middle and protect their sister. They would jump in the middle and protect their brother. Our sisters in America got more heart and they are more bold when it comes to this war than the black man himself. It's a shame, but it's the truth. Now, like I said, if George Floyd was the blood, swoo-woo, and those motherfucking evil caucasoid demonic terrorists who put their boots in his neck, if those were Crips, and George being the blood, and he died, and he was murdered at the scene, I give it 48 to 72 hours tops that those African American men, them bloods, seeing that footage, will be quick to go ride and go to the community and light that whole house up and kill everybody on that block in revenge for their brother. If George Floyd was a Crip, And those were black bloods putting their weight on his body, holding him, restraining him, and putting their knee in his neck to the point where he fallen unconscious and soon shortly died right after. And the video footage spread and went all around the world. I guarantee you, I bet you my bottom dollar that those Crips will soon, as fast, quick, in a hurry, 24, 48 hours tops, will go straight to the community where those bloods were who killed their gang affiliate brother, and they will drive by that whole street. They'll shoot that whole street up. They'll find the bloods who were responsible, and they will kill them quick, fast, in a hurry, 24, 48, 72 hours tops. If George Floyd was a vice lord in the streets of Chicago, and folks happened to be the ones, there was three folks, two holding them down, one putting their knee in that black vice lord's neck. The black vice lord can't breathe. The black vice lord lose consciousness. The black vice lord dies shortly after and is pronounced dead on the scene. I give it 24 hours tops. Them folks from the South Side in Chicago will ride up to that vice lord community and let the motherfuckers have it. Or tables turn. Them vice lords will ride up to the folks' neighborhood and they'll light that whole neighborhood up, and they will let those same people who killed their brother have it. You understand where I'm going with this? Must I go on? And it's all actual facts. It's all actual facts. And you want to know something funny about that? When the African American kills another African American, where's the protest? Where's the burning buildings? Where's the hands up, don't shoot? Where's the stop this black on black crime? Sometimes there is protest. I'm not gonna sit here and say that there ain't no protest, because sometimes there is protest, family. Sometimes there is protest. But there's not always protest. In fact, the story's not even always on the news like that. You know why? Because the Ku Klux Klan affiliates, the terrorist demonic demons who have infiltrated the police department, the same Europeans who occupy the news media coverage, they don't want to cover those stories. They don't want to cover those stories because they look at it like, oh, well, another nigger gone, Bob. Let them kill each other, Bob. Let the niggers kill each other. We don't want them in our country anyway. Let the blacks kill each other. They're not even considered humans to us anyway. Let the blacks kill each other. Let the Ku Klux Klan go on vacation. And let the Ku Klux Klan go on vacation and let the blacks kill each other because they're doing our job for us. You get where I'm going? So we must understand that we are currently at war, and we must do our best to discontinue this mayhem that we're forced to deal with here in America. So we must get our shit together and realize that if the vice lord can go and ride on a GDE and folks for killing their brother, why is it so hard for blacks to do it for George Floyd now? Oh, what's the difference? I'll tell you the difference. The difference is it wasn't a Crip who killed your brother. It wasn't a vice lord who killed your brother. It wasn't the blood who killed your brother. It was a white man who killed your brother. It was the white man. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna sit there? You gonna protest and go burn some buildings and not go get the motherfucker who got at your brother? What you gonna do? I'm waiting. We'll see.